Hello, dear friends. All intelligence providers are tired of this waiting. Opinion piece. Revealing December. The title speeds up. Photo 12 for the solstice. Christ consciousness at Christmas. Happiness is for the brave. Spanish invention cleans the air. People don't know right from wrong. Cereal prices rose 6.3%. Ecological model of solar greenhouses. A 1,000 miles tunnel found beneath Europe. Let's start. We start the last month of the year full of contradictions and uncertainties about what the year ahead holds, as we watch the latest attempt by the wicked to tighten our belts and curtail our freedom, parallel to the protests taking place all over the world. They will try to squeeze us further, but it will backfire. December contains the winter solstice in the northern hemisphere, the day with the fewest daylight hours, and the summer solstice in the southern hemisphere, the day with the most daylight hours. The signs for the month of December are Sagittarius until 21st December and Capricorn from 22nd December onwards. In ancient Rome, the Saturnalia was celebrated from 17 to 33 December and Sol Invictus on 25th December. I love December because it is like Friday every year. December is the oldest month of the year. In December, there is no brave man who doesn't tremble, even if this winter is expected to be milder. Hot December brings the devil in the belly. In December, the reeds freeze and the chestnuts roast. When you see snow in December, feel you are fresh and warm your home. Energies. The energies of December 2022 by the Arcturian Council through Daniel Scranton. The energies that will be given throughout the month of December will be to assist each individual to make the quantum leap or leaps that they want to make and that they want to see in the world outside of themselves. You have been trotting along like the turtle for quite some time, and you are ready to make bigger leaps than ever before. You will be helped by the 12/12 portal, by the solstice event, by the rebirth of Christ consciousness on Christmas Day. You will be helped by all the energies that have been coming in and will amplify to end 2022 with so much love, peace and joy in the hearts of the humankind who are open. There has always been a way and there will always be a way, but not everyone can change fast enough to see a big difference in their life or in the world. Now, in this month of December, you are ready to experience those changes and you are ready to make them from within with the help of the energies that are being brought to you at this time. Dream big, seek the path that leads to the completion of the quantum leap forward, and know that there are many others around you who will do the same and pave the way for the great changes you wish to see and experience in your life. Collective awakening. Jesus through John. You are all individual bright sparks of the light that is God expressing through you. Humankind is now in the process of individually and collectively acknowledging, forgiving and releasing all that within them is in the slightest misalignment with love, with reality. Large numbers of people have been severely abused and punished for aeons for multiple reasons. Your collective awakening process, which has been ongoing for many decades, is nearing completion and is generating a great deal of pain and suffering in many areas of the world as these collective remands of anger and resentment rise up to be released. many still feel a powerful need for justice and punishment for the corrupt, unethical and unprincipled, as the immensity of their dishonesty and corruption is revealed in greater detail around the world every day. And in many places, conflicts seem to intensify as natural humankind's feeling of anger and resentment and past and present mistreatment explode into violence and war. These conflicts are the remnants of the intense anger and resentment that so many abusive thoughts, words, actions, and behaviors have ingrained in the human collective over the aeons. However, many people who have recognized that to live in peace it is essential to live in love and compassion with all life, are forming and uniting in communities around the world with the most powerful intention to change their lifestyle from individual consumption, driven to a holistic way that fully supports everyone and the planet. Reset News. Mark Sira believes it could be at any time, but we don't know the timing, which is driven by events. We are expecting a market crash at any time. There is some interesting global economic news that will give us clues as to where we are. Central banks are accumulating gold faster than in the last 55 years. It gets darker just before it goes pitch black, and then the sun comes up and shines. Remember that thoughts become things. Keep your thoughts positive. On Thursday, December 1st, Mark Misley, trustee of Saint Germain's Fund, released some but not all of his assets. GFK Jr. has hinted on his Telegram channel that he would come out of the shadows on Sunday, 4th December. Rains in Arabia on Tuesday, November 29th. The Saudi Arabian desert turned into a sea after heavy rains and hail in some places. Florida will withdraw $2 billion from its assets managed by BlackRock. 3 cryptocurrency billionaires die in mysterious circumstances in the last month. Billionaire Mike Novogratz abandons his forecast for Bitcoin to reach $500,000 in 5 years. You can hack the blockchain, but not the quantum financial system. Twitter is committed to free speech and Apple is trying to destroy it. Deep in the US and New Mexico, there are supposed to be more than 75 giant underground cities and secret facilities, allegedly connected by tunnel systems, according to Milton William Cooper. Many are complete with roads, pedestrian walkways, lakes, electric cars, flats, offices, and shopping centers. USA. Biden signs bill imposing impact on rail unions, average strike. New York's social media censorship law would be illegal according to a new lawsuit. Antifa wants to draft a rally in Florida that opposes gender doctrine. Alex Jones files for bankruptcy after $1.5 billion payment judgment. Canada summons Chinese ambassador over report on police stations and Canadian soil. Europe goes bust as banking crisis intensifies. During the recent market turmoil, concerns have been raised about the resilience of financial institutions. Authorities are already sounding the alarm that they risk making the same mistakes that triggered the 2008 financial crisis. Ana Botín, chairwoman of Santander, has said that the bank expects the economic environment to remain unstable. This is due to tightening markets and inflation rates not seen for decades. The big 5 European banks have fared better than their US counterparts, whose results have been more erratic. Banking operations were disrupted by the war in Ukraine, and financial institutions were quick to cut ties with Russia and apply sanctions. The Ukrainian crisis puts Europe at a crossroads in global geopolitics. Switzerland has frozen $8 billion in Russian assets since February. Airbus announces it will stop importing Russian titanium within several months. Germany calls for a return to the peace that existed in Europe before the conflict in Ukraine. Brussels wants everything to be recyclable by 2030. Europe's largest electricity storage plant opens in Belgium. The French government plans electricity cuts to save energy. France is preparing for possible blackouts this winter due to lack of energy production. The European Union spends more than $400,000 on a metaverse party and only 6 people attend. A strong explosion rocks a Turkish port on the Black Sea. The Blue Stream pipeline passes through the port. A 1,000-mile-long stone-age tunnel is found under Europe. Spain. Rises of 5.2% in the most common Christmas foodstuffs in Spain. The Spanish invasion cleans the air in cities at night. The idea is based on the fact that certain chemical compounds that can be included in facades behave as photocatalysts. Solar greenhouses from Almeria present their ecological model to the European Parliament. The agricultural model of solar greenhouses in Almeria presented the advantages of this type of production, which combines social, economic and environmental sustainability to produce up to a quarter of all the fruit and vegetables consumed in Europe to the European Parliament on Thursday. It doesn't require heating like Dutch greenhouses. What was the strange object seen from the sky over Tenerife and hit in Gran Canaria? The fireball that disrupted normality on the islands at around 15:35 hours was seen crossing the sky as a shooting star of La Palma and Tenerife, and the sonic wave it caused as it passed through the atmosphere was heard as a loud boom, especially in Gran Canaria, according to 112 phone number. Americas. AMLO seeks to propose to the US and Canada to create a bloc similar to the European Union. Bolivia and Chile bury the dispute over the waters of the Silala River. The Chilean economy marks its second successive year-on-year fall in October with 1.2%. Paraguay rules out a breakup of Mercosur and calls for a consensus on decisions. Mara Salvatrucha leader, who controlled the gang in Central America, arrested in Guatemala. Argentina rejects the intention of the United Kingdom to send new troops to the Falkland Islands. A human trafficking ring operation in Colombia, Spain and France is dismantled. France exports to Latin America toxic pesticides that it bans on its own soil. The Colombian government and the ELN invite the peasantry to join a dialogue table. The Peruvian Congress summons Pedro Castillo to a session to vote on his impeachment. Dina Boluarte, the woman who could replace Peru's president in the event of impeachment. Venezuela signs an agreement with Chevron to continue producing oil. Lawyers call for an end to political persecution to be included in the Venezuelan dialogue. The Nicaraguan government closes another 100 NGOs, bringing to 3,126 the number dissolved. The Dominican Republic expects an all-time record number of tourists in 2022. Nearly 4,000 displaced by heavy rains in northeastern Brazil. China. Tesla recalls more than 435,000 cars in China due to software problems. China demands that the US destroy its nuclear arsenal. Chinese protest for freedom after locking up many citizens in concentration camps. Russia. Moscow rejects Biden's demand for a complete territorial withdrawal. Russia says US and NATO directly involved in Ukraine war. Zelensky prepares to ban the Ukrainian Orthodox Church, according to the New York Times. The US doesn't want to see its gains against the Islamic State undermined by a Turkish operation. FAO estimates that world cereal prices are up 6.3% year-on-year. Reflections. This material realm is becoming mundane, suffocating and uncomfortable. Are humankind waking up and beginning to outgrow the physical realm? According to Poet Talk, we all have the right to find the truth on our own terms, even if we find the monster behind the door. Postmodern society without God is a failure. The evidence and proof is everywhere. Ever since society decided to discard God in the face of constant prodding from those who control the banks and governments, society has gone to the dogs. People today can't even decide the simplest of things, whether they are male or female. When you extract absolutes from society, anything goes, and even the simplest things today have become confused and twisted to the point where the masses do not know right from wrong. All this, of course, was by design. I say goodbye, confessing that I am devastated because most of the stray cats in my urbanization that I fed every day have been poisoned, and the corresponding complaint has been filed with the authorities, because this was a crime punishable by imprisonment. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.